Hey everybody, it's me, Pam, Dragon Moon Creations. Welcome back to my channel. I have been working, well, last night I started working with the Farmer Jane pad. And like I said, I bought two of these because I really liked it. I don't know what drew me to it, if it was the colors or the chickens or whatever. But I worked with a couple of the papers. What I did was my normal, let's see, let me get this. I have a cat bothering me that is not Trip. These paper pads, you can get 3 of them for $1.25. I think they're still $1.25 at Dollar Tree. And I usually make the soft cover ones, which I forgot to get out. Hang on a second. I actually have to move my chair, just so I can clarify. Yeah, I turn on the camera and I immediately walk away. Like this one. What do I do? Like this. And these I just use one sheet of paper and fold it. One 12 by 12 sheet, and I can use up one 12 by 12 sheet to make one of these. But the spine is, it's soft. There's nothing in it that holds a lot of support. But, they still work, and they'll still last a long time because I line the spines with paper tape. And it kind of keeps them, it strengthens them. And these are refillable, right? It has the little thing there, and they're refillable. Okay, so, but I saw one. I was watching the Posh Paper Lady, and she was making one, and she was using some sort of chipboard. I did not use a Raisin Bran box. I did use a couple of my cornflake boxes, but this will work just fine. And I made a couple of the hardback ones, and I had to do a little bit differently. I didn't go back and watch her video. Probably should have. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I did make a couple of them out of this paper. And let me show you what I came up with. This was the first one I made. It was this one right here. And this was actually a square. Or not a square. It was a rectangle. Just like that. And I said, well, it's too big, and I didn't want to cut it down and have it be a square. So what I did was, I got out these ovals. Where are they from? These are from Paper Rose. And they're the stitched ovals. And I used that one. That's the largest one. And I did that. And I really like this paper. It's pretty. It's the Delft blue. I forgot to put my seal on the back of the other one. Anyway, and then you open it up, and it has the paper pad. Now the paper pads, since I didn't use the sheet, and I usually fold it up and use that as the pocket, I didn't do that because of the way I was doing it. I was covering the outside. This is 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. And the spine is half an inch, but it looks a little bit wider, and is a little bit wider because you leave that space in between the front and back cover and the spine, so it will bend. But all the paper, this came all from the Farmer Jane. So what I did was, I just took a piece of that paper and I glued it around here. Actually, I used 1/8 inch double-sided tape, but I put a little bit of glue, and I put glue here. But I had to cut my pad, the back of my pad, like that, because it wouldn't go down in there and fit correctly. So I had to do that. So I did that, so it fits in there nice. And then I had some of this burlap ribbon, and I had gotten it different kinds of it, different designs of it from Dollar Tree. They don't have it anymore. I got it over in the floral section. I went ahead and, this is not Trip, That's the one that's been bothering me this morning. Her name is Lily, and she's annoying, is what she is. I made a pocket out of the cutoff from that, offcuts. And then this was one of the cut aparts. And then I said I didn't want to put a tag in there. So I got out these. I had gotten these on clearance, and they're 4" by 5.5. So they're a little bit smaller, because this was like 5 I think 5 inches wide maybe. So I made it 6 inches and put a 1/2 inch. I put a 1/2 inch on each side, and then scored it so it would come out a little bit. And I used wet glue on that, and it made it kind of warp. So anyway, I made a little card, and it says just a note. And what I used for that was these, and these are definitely like Timu. I used the biggest one to cut out a sheet of paper that matched that, and then I used next to the smallest one for that. And that just a note stamp was from ages ago, and I don't even know where I got it. Anyway, so, and I put the just a note thing, and I put in the envelope, and it fits right down in there really nice. And they can always refill it with another note card, or, you know, whatever. They're notes from this pad. But I really thought, I said, I like this. You know, it's a little bit tricky getting this, and I'm always afraid that it's going to crack. But I did that one. Okay. Anyway. And then I said, I want to do one. This has like 3 different color palettes in it. It has like the blue up front, and it has a more like beigey, you know, in the middle, and then it has the rusty looking, and then I think it's more green in the back. Yeah, it's more green. It has the green. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. It has like 4 different color palettes in the same pad. All right, so I did that one. Then I picked out, and I had chicken paper. After I did that and I didn't mess it up, I'll do chicken. So I did the chicken one. I need to put my little thing on there. I have stamped and popped out these right here, so I'll put that on there. And it was the chicken paper. And this was a leftover piece of what I used on the back, and right here was a cut apart, but it had like a, I don't know, it had a, I'll show you what it had. It looked like these only, and I tried to fussy cut around that. I suck at fussy cutting, so I just trimmed around the whole thing and made it without the fluted edge, or whatever you want to call it. There is still a little bit of the gold you can see around there, but this was blank. I stamped in that Farm Life, and I stamped it with these. And I'm not sure where I got these, actually. And this one's weird. I don't think this was supposed to be like that, because there's one missing. And I couldn't find the R because it was on the bottom of the P. But there's one missing. So I think whoever had these, maybe, and you had to put them on the bottom of whatever. Anyway, I don't know where I got them. I might have gotten them in that free D-stash from a few years ago. But so I went on there and I stamped that on there, and I used this piece of paper, which I've been using to, you know, try to get my, this was Distress ink, and then I switched over to archival. And then the one on the inside, I cut this out, and then I traced it faintly. I just kind of put the little lines there so I could see how I wanted to put the fresh eggs, and I still screwed it up. I didn't start the egg over far enough, so it's off center. But I thought it was cute. And it's the same thing. You know, this is the same. It's the same way. Had to cut it off. But it can still be refilled. And that was the important part here, was that it can be refilled. Like that. There we go. And this one, I turned it this way. And I did that accidentally. Because to line these pads, you cut the lining sheet 8. It's 8 inches high. And like 11 and a quarter wide. So whenever I went to cut this paper, there it is. That one, I measured, and if I would have, the first sheet on the other note card, I cut it this way, which meant I couldn't use the bottom part for anything else. And I wanted to maybe use this one as a liner for another one of these. And so I turned it sideways. And in my cleverness to save some paper, of course it's directional, so I couldn't put the card this way. I had to turn it this way. Did that with my boo-boo. And it's just that's all I did to the front, just a little something to take up that space in there like that. So anyway, and a different pattern on the ribbon that's inside. Anyway, I thought they turned out cute. And that's the Farmer Jane. They still, you know, because the spines are tight, they still kind of do that. But anyway, that's it. Farmer Jane. I want to make, I think, 2 more of these. I want to use the rusty color and the green color out of that paper pad. So I was going to try to do those this morning. All right. That's it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.